Good afternoon and good morning to everyone connected from Italy and Canada. A warm welcome to this event dedicated to Italy-Canada business relationships, and in particular to the launch of CDP business matching platform in Canada. I'm Riccardo Norati Bianchi, Head of Country System Initiative at Cassa Depositi e Prestiti, CDP, the Italian national financial institution that supports the sustainable and inclusive development of the public and private sector at national and international level. I'm very glad to welcome Italian and Canadian companies and institutional representatives joining us on the business matching platform, the innovative tool jointly developed by CDP, CIMEST, and the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Italy and Canada have already a strong economic and commercial relationship. In 2022, bilaterally trade between Canada and Italy reached $11.8 billion, making Italy Canada's ninth largest global commercial partners. Canada's goods exports to Italy were valued at $2.9 billion, and goods imports from Italy were valued at $8.9 billion. Starting from these positive and encouraging figures, today we are particularly pleased to launch the CDP business matching platform in Canada, aiming at further deepening the economic and commercial ties between our countries. We have several guests joining us from Italy and Canada, representing the institutions and partners supporting this initiative. The Italian Embassy, the Italian Trade Agency, Confindustria, CNA, the Italian Chambers of Commerce, and of course, CIMEST. From Canada, let me address a special thanks to the Minister of Economic Development for Southern Ontario, the Senate of Canada, Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters, CME, and the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, and the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association. We'll hear from our different speakers the challenges of internationalization and export processes, as well as you will be introduced to some of the most financial advisory tools that are built to support the business development and international level. Now, I would like to officially open the event by welcoming the Director of European International Affairs of CDP and the President of CIMEST, Pasquale Salzano, live from Rome for the opening remarks. Buongiorno, Presidente. The floor is yours.
Grazie, Riccardo. Distinguished guests, business representatives, good afternoon and good morning, and a warm welcome to all participants who are joining us today. First and foremost, please allow me to thank all our partners in Canada and in Italy for their precious support in organizing this initiative. I'm really honored that several high-level representatives from the institutional, financial, and business worlds have gathered today to discuss the business opportunities between Italy and Canada and how to further strengthen our economic and trade relationship. But let me give special thanks to Minister Filomena Tassi and Senator Tony Loffreda for their participation in this event, as well as my dear friend, the Ambassador of Italy in Ottawa, Andrea, and his staff for their cooperation that made this event possible. Italy and Canada enjoy a long-standing friendship and have a close relationship. Let me look back to recognize that the historical and deep-rooted economic, social, and cultural ties with our country have been built with the contribution of a large community of Italian Canadians, which has reached about 1,600,000, and to which many Italian entrepreneurs active in many sectors already belong. The Italian community in Canada is now a strong and dynamic reality, which has created a strong bilateral collaboration, contributing to important economic and trade exchanges, on which we hope to foster with our initiative today. We also share the same principles and values regarding today's major global challenges, as well as our joint commitments as active members of the G7, G20, and NATO. In this context, we at Cassa Depositi and Prestiti are actively promoting sustainable innovation, digitalization, and the internationalization and export processes of Italian companies, especially of small and medium enterprises in foreign markets, including Canada. In particular, today, alongside CDP Group's financial instruments, we are presenting to all connected companies an innovative platform dedicated to Canadian market, the so-called CDP Business Matching Platform. This is the advisory digital tool jointly developed by Cassa Depositi and Prestiti, CIMEST, and the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, aimed at providing a faster, easier, and less costly approach to the Canadian market, embodying a spirit of mutual enrichment and win-win partnerships. We are sure that this instrument will be beneficial also to the overall strategy of supporting business between Italy and Canada, in coordination with our Italian and Canadian partners who are participating in this event. We look forward to working together more and more closely with our Canadian counterparts in order to develop new business opportunities. And in conclusion, I would like to thank you all for your interest in today's event, and I wish you fruitful meetings during the B2B sessions and much success for your business ventures. I thank you for your attention. Goodbye and arrivederci.
Thank you very much, President Salzano, for introducing the framework of today's webinar. So Italy and Canada have a strong and long-standing relationship, also thanks to Canada's large and dynamic Italo-Canadian community, engaged in all aspects of bilateral relations. So now I'm very pleased to give the floor to the ambassador of Italy to Ottawa, Andrea Ferrari. Good morning, Ambassador. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and buongiorno a tutti. Good morning to everybody. And I also very pleased to send a particularly profound, a big hug to my closest friend, Pasquale Ferrara. We don't see or talk each other too much, and this is a good opportunity at least to have this sort of connection. It is a great pleasure to be here this morning to launch the fascinating and very interesting and innovative business matching platform developed by Cassa Depositi e Prestiti, which I sincerely thank, already introduced successfully in more than 10 countries. I'm confident that it will be particularly effective here in Canada, further boosting the strong business ties between Canadian and Italian companies. I'm also very grateful to the many Italian and Canadian partners who helped us to make this event possible and to reach numerous companies on both sides of the Atlantic. Along with the presentation of the platform today, we will hear qualified insights and opinions from high-level speakers from both countries. Canada has always extremely welcoming has always been extremely welcoming to Italians, whose cultural heritage has proven to be a key factor for success in many different fields, including and especially in business. Italy, known for its rich history and unparalleled craftsmanship, offers a diverse range of products to the international market, from fashion to automobiles, machinery to food products, green technologies to medical products. Italian goods are highly regarded worldwide, promoting innovation without forgetting our strong traditions. On the other hand, Canada abounds with natural resources, including energy, forest products, and minerals. By combining these strengths, Canada and Italy laid a solid foundation for a mutually beneficial trade relationship. Canada is a strategic partner for Italy and a market of great interest for our companies. Bilateral trade has been already mentioned in 2022, for instance, reached more than 8 billion euros. And partial data regarding 2023 confirms this positive trend. Italy is from 6 to 8, depends on the months and not the period, largest exporter of products to Canada, ahead of major industrial countries such as the UK and France, for instance. Since CETA was introduced in 2016, bilateral trade has increased by almost 60%, and it keeps growing every year. The presence of Italian enterprises in Canada is constantly increasing as well. However, there is still a lot of unexplored potential, which I'm confident CDP's platform will help us exploit. Among many sectors that see a tight collaboration, there has been strong attention to the green economy and automotive field in recent years. For this reason, later on, we will hear some remarks on the evolution of these fields in Canada from the Flavio Volpe and Teresa Piruzza Stellantis. Trade and business cooperation between Canada and Italy continue flourishing, benefiting both countries in numerous ways, as the economic ties between our companies continue to yield positive outcomes. Let us embrace the potential for deeper collaboration, aiming at a brighter and more prosperous future for both countries. Initiatives like the one we are launching today help us to move towards this goal, and therefore we should welcome and encourage them. Thank you very much. Molte grazie a tutti voi, and have fruitful meetings. Arrivederci.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Ferrari. We really would like to express our gratitude to you and to all the embassy staff for the important support in organizing and promoting this event. Thank you very much again. We can now open the first panel, focus on an in-depth discussion about Canada and Italy business relations. So I would like to start with Barbara Beltrame Giacomello, Vice President of Internationalization of Confindustria. And I'm pleased to listen from Vice President Beltrame about the main links of collaboration between Italian and Canadian companies from the point of view of Confindustria, and to understand what kind of support Confindustria provide for the companies in this context. So let's listen the speech of Ms. Barbara Beltrame Giacomello.
Good morning in Canada e buon pomeriggio a tutti voi collegati dall'Italia. My warmest regards to our Ambassador Ferrari in Ottawa, and a special thanks to my friend Pasquale Salzano and to all the people of CDP for yet another significant event dedicated to our companies. President Darby, President Beatty, it is a great pleasure to have you here with us. Let me start by giving you just a few facts and figures to express the never-ending interest of Italian companies and investors toward your country. During the last 6 years, Italy export to Canada has increased at an accumulated rate of 62.3%, much higher than the average 38% achieved by the Italian sales in the world. In 2022, more than 6 billion euros of Italian manufactured products were sold in Canada. Among the European countries, Italy is the second exporter to Canada after Germany, but it's the first one in the food and beverage sectors. Investors from Italy to Canada are also registering a relevant increase. Italian manufacturers continue opening factories in Canada, ranging from makeup and skincare products to sustainable packaging. They are also making great investments in innovative products. An example is the EV battery new plant of Stellantis, to which Canada's richness in critical materials is quite strategic. There are unique partnerships ongoing between Italian and Canadian companies. Think to the collaboration between Barilla, the most popular Italian pasta brand, and the Canadian designer Salvatore Parasuco, for making an executive pasta-inspired premium clothing capsule. Above all, there is the comprehensive and economic trade agreement, the CETA, between EU and Canada. It was provided and it will keep providing the opportunity to both Italy and Canada to benefit from mutual trade. After the agreement, we have seen a real boost in the export of services, mainly concentrated in the travel and high-tech service industry. It is worth noting that travels is the sector that contributes most to such increases since the introduction of the CETA. Such as increasing of tourists has a significant impact of the national economy. Furthermore, the Italian export of high-tech service was basically doubled in 4 years, from 2017 to 2021. In this specific sector, there is a strong need for international cooperation and shared projects that we could develop together. The expansion and evolution of space industry and satellite communications are seeing the adoption of multiple technologies, ranging from artificial intelligence to cybersecurity to new materials development. Italy can play a major role because of its advanced industrial level and very good capacity for public-private cooperation. Combined with Canada's successful score in tech sector, it can lead toward strategic synergies. I believe we can also explore and expand our bilateral cooperation in other sectors, aiming to reduce environment impacts. In conclusion, Canada constant growth cannot be ignored. Confindustria will always support bilateral relationship between Italian and Canadian companies. Our embassy, CDP, and our Canadian partners are all fundamental key sectors in these processes. We look forward to continuing our excellent cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very well, very well. We listened the speech of Ms. Beltrame, Vice President of Confindustria. Confindustria is one of the main partners in all initiatives dedicated to the CDP business matching platform. So now I would like to introduce the topic of the manufacturing sector, and in order to understand which kind of opportunities can find Italian companies in Canada in this relevant sector. So we talk about this with Dennis Darby, President and CEO of Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters, CME. So please, President, the floor is yours.
Buongiorno, grazie per l'opportunità di parlare a questo gruppo importante che i miei colleghi hanno detto. Tra Italia e Canada ci sono molti collegamenti culturali, economici e storici. Abbiamo l'opportunità di sviluppare nuove concessioni per commercio. Complimenti agli organizzatori. So thank you for allowing me to speak to you today to talk about how this tool, the CDP tool, can really enhance and improve the collaboration between our two countries. While historically the key exports from Italy to Canada have been materials and staples, among manufactured goods, that total of over $1.5 billion includes pharmaceuticals, refined metal products, turbine and power transmission equipment. So in terms of imports, industrial machinery and transportation vehicles are the key manufactured imports from Canada, leaving aside consumer staples such as footwear, clothing, and wine. But they're growing. And as our colleague said earlier, growing to almost $10 billion annually. So clearly there is an opportunity for Canada to export more, but we need to recognize as well the importance of Italian ingenuity and innovation, especially in the areas of machinery, everything from food processing to packaging to paper converting to some of the most modern automotive part manufacturing equipment used in the manufacture of electric vehicles. We need to leverage that innovation as we build more productive manufacturing capacity here in Canada, particularly in the current transportation revolution to electric and even hydrogen-powered vehicles. So there are great opportunities for Canada. It's an area where we excel in terms of manufacture and development of auto parts, and we're going to hear more about that later on. So we do need to look forward to more collaboration and exchange of technologies. We're both broad-based economies. We share values, but it's really important for us, especially when you think about the timing, because for perspective, the timing of this initiative, I think, is critical. You know, it's well known that Canada has underinvested in equipment and technology over the last 20 years. And the gap in productivity is only exacerbated, has been exacerbated by the introduction last year in the United States of the Inflation Reduction Act, which in 1 year alone has attracted nearly $100 billion of incremental manufacturing investment. So if Canada is to get its fair share of manufacturing production and investment, we need to look to partners like Italy to bring some of that expertise and technology we need. Likewise, as Canada has a number of already announced new battery production facilities, such as the one at Stellantis, to take advantage of its North American free trade position, it provides an opportunity as well for Italian companies to locate here and to access a global market, as Canada is one of the few countries in the world with free trade agreements with all of the G20 countries and many, many more in the Pacific region. If I could speak just personally for a moment, I spent almost 5 years working in Italy in Pescara in Abruzzo at a joint venture between Procter & Gamble and Famaconico, who is a leading developer of industrial production machinery. And we were successful in having the first Italian-designed paper converters installed at a P&G plant in Belleville. I'm happy to say that production platform we developed is still the base for the production of hygienic products around the world. But what impressed me was the creativity and technical expertise and problem solving and the incredible collaboration between our Canadian and Italian colleagues to help advance some technology that really had produced a real difference in the consumer products area. I'm still in contact with some of those folks 20 years later, and I think it's a great example that we do, in fact, have worked together so many times. So it's on behalf of Canadian manufacturers and exporters, or the oldest trade association representing the interests of the industrial sector in Canada since 1871. So we've been around almost as long as Canada and Italy as countries. But we see a very positive future. Using the framework of CETA that was mentioned earlier and building on the historical connections between our two countries, I think this initiative will help our members, will help your members to promote more collaboration, more partnerships, more development, and ultimately more wealth for both our economies. Thank you very much. Grazie mille.
Thank you very much, President Darby, for being here today with us and sharing with us your insight. Thank you. Bye-bye. And now we look forward to hearing the point of view of the suggestion of Honorable Perry Betty, President of Canadian Chamber of Commerce, which represent the most representative national business association in Canada. So please, Mr. Betty.
Ciao. Hello, I'm Perrin Beatty, President and CEO of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. The Canadian Chamber is the largest and most broadly representative business association in Canada. We represent about 200,000 businesses of all sizes and sectors in every region of the country. Now, as you already know, Canada is a trading nation. In spite of a series of major global disruptions in the past 2 years, disruptions that have included the COVID-19 pandemic and the invasion of Ukraine, Canadian trade reached record high levels in 2022. Now, this positive momentum demonstrates our Canadian business community's commitment to international trade, and our bilateral trade with Italy is no exception. Canada and Italy have a strong and long-lasting commercial relationship. We also have excellent opportunities for growth thanks to the Canada-EU Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement. Last year, two-way trade between Canada and Italy totaled $11.8 billion. This makes Italy not only one of Canada's most important trading partners in the EU, but also one of our top 10 largest merchandise trading partners worldwide. Now, our bilateral relationship is underpinned by our strong people-to-people ties, as well as by our strongly shared values and our institutions. For instance, with more than 1.5 million people of Italian heritage. Canada is the proud home to one of the largest Italian diasporas anywhere in the world. Whether in business, sports, cuisine, politics, the arts, or so much more, this community has enriched all aspects of our society. Our bilateral relationship is robust, and it's ready for us to generate even deeper business ties and collaboration. Facilitating connections between Canadian and Italian businesses, and particularly small and medium-sized businesses, is vital if we want to unleash the potential of our commercial relationship. So more initiatives like this event are much needed. Italy will be hosting the G7 summit in 2024 in Puglia, which will help make the entire world more aware of Italy's great potential. Since the Canadian Chamber is the Canadian representative to the B7 engagement group of the G7, I hope to connect in person with many of you in Italy next year. In the meantime, I'm very pleased to be able to take part today in this effort to strengthen the long-standing friendship between our two countries. A stronger partnership will benefit every one of us. Thank you. Grazie.
Thank you so much, President Beatty, for your words and for having reminded the importance of SMEs, the small and medium enterprise, that are crucial actors to strengthen Italian and Canadian bilateral relationship. And we hope that the topic related to the support to the private sector, and in particular to the small and medium enterprise, will be one of the issues that can be also be addressed by the B7 engagement group next year in the occasion of the 2024 Italy's G7 presidency. And now, before proceed with the roundtable, let me turn our attention to the CDP business matching platform, which I have the honor to coordinate and to manage. Thanks to our platform, we could contribute to further deepen the economic and commercial ties between Italy and Canada, one of the most important countries for Italian export, and where Made in Italy is certainly considered a factor of great importance and synonymous of high quality in different manufacturing sectors. As anticipated, the platform is an innovative tool developed by CDP in partnership with the CIMEST and the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation in order to foster trade relations and increase new business opportunities between Italian and Canadian companies. The platform is totally free of charge and allows companies to meet in a smart environment, share business intention, and start a new commercial partnership. Today is only the first step, although very important. Let me announce with pleasure that we have almost 300 registered companies that are following us, and several events and initiatives will follow in the coming weeks. We launched the platform in November 2021, and during 2022, we activated the service in the most relevant countries for Italian export, and at the same time for more complex faraway countries, starting from India and then Japan, China, Indonesia, Mexico, Morocco, and South Korea. In 2023, we launched the platform in USA, in South Africa, Brazil, Vietnam, and now we are very happy to activate the tool in Canada. I really hope that digital platform will be increasingly used in the coming weeks and months by the Canadian business community, also thanks to future sectoral events that we will organize with all our important Italian and Canadian partners. The platform is built on three main pillars. The first one is the database fed by Italian and foreign companies interested in business matching. The second is the matchmaking system, where the algorithm proposes B2B matches, evaluating the affinity among registered companies. And the third one is the virtual networking system that allows companies to use the platform to organize and attend B2B meetings or digital events, business forum, and webinars such as today. The companies register on the platform, define their business intentions, and submit their request to meet new Italian or Canadian partners. The algorithm runs every day and matches companies based on their request and their profiles. If companies accept the match proposed by the system, they can easily schedule B2B meeting in a virtual room within the platform, and if they need, they may be supported also by an interpreter. There are many reasons why to register to the business matching platform. First of all, because it is an easy, smart, and free of charge tool that allows to keep in contact with high quality network of selected Italian companies. It is, let me say, a gateway to meet the Italian business excellence, as well as to benefit of a broad network of Italian and international, including Canadian partners involved in this initiative. Secondly, the tool reduced travel costs related to the start of business relationships, in particular for Italian-Canadian SMEs. Since the launch of the platform, we have registered more than 6,000 companies, 55% of which are Italian, and the remaining 45% are foreign companies from different countries. There are more than 1,000 B2B meetings already organized and hosted in the platform, and more than 50 events have been already held in the platform. In the next slide, you can see the geographical distribution of almost 3,400 Italian companies already registered, divided into regions and sectors. For example, agribusiness, food and beverage, IT, machinery and equipment, construction material, automotive, packaging, fashion, and textile. In the next slide, you can see the same geographical distribution of the almost 2,600 international companies already registered. Also, in this case, you can see the geographical distribution in different countries and sectors. With regard to the next steps, I would like to confirm you that in the coming weeks and months, we intend to organize thematic events in coordination with all relevant partners to promote and facilitate trade relations between Italian and Canadian businesses. Also during fairs, business fora, as well as increasing solutions to facilitate the use of the platform by Canadian Italian SMEs, such as the marketplace, and with the introduction of blockchain and artificial intelligence. Finally, here in the last slide, you can see the partners of our initiative, the customer service contacts, and the link to sign up to the platform. You can also download the brochure, the platform presentation from the platform website, businessmatching.cdp.it. I would like finally to remember that after this webinar, in the coming days and weeks, we will start to host within the platform digital B2B meetings among Italian and Canadian companies. And now, after the presentation of the platform, I am pleased to introduce the next panel, Business Opportunities in the Italian and Canadian Trade Relations. Let me present to you the first speaker of the roundtable, Marco Saladini, Trade Commissioner of the Italian Trade Agency in Canada. Good morning, Mr. Saladini. I would like to ask you, what is the current trade situation between Italy and Canada, and what is the role of the Italian Trade Agency in supporting the Italian companies in Canada? Please, the floor is yours.
Riccardo, Mr. Onorati, rather, thank you very much for your introduction. I'm the Director of Italian Trade Agency's offices in Canada, and I'm honored to open the panel with very strong speakers to follow. We would like to express our interest in building synergies with CDP and CMS based also on this tool to carry out our mission in Canada and elsewhere. So I'm very happy to be here and to try to, come up with some ideas about that. And let me turn now to my presentation. We have, to answer your question, detailed a little bit the structure of bilateral flows Canadian imports from Italy, as the ambassador correctly said before, are mostly based on machinery and other advanced technology sectors, although there are some other sectors are more commodity based, like metals, precious metals, for instance. But it's prevailing. Manufactured goods are really prevailing in the top 10 product categories at the HS2 heading level. So here you can see also the evolution of the structure. These slides will be circulated later, so don't worry about getting all the details, of course. And on the Canadian side, there is really a mix. We have commodities, which are very, very important, but also we have an important component of manufactured goods. So Canada is an innovative country, is advanced in terms of education and instruction. So we would expect that this would be the case. So I mean, it's a more nuanced picture on the Canadian side, and but there are significant interactions and possibilities for complementarity. Okay. Now we highlighted three major sectors where we are strong, and we believe that companies should be active. And these are food, where Italy is the fifth largest supplier with over 1.2 billion Canadian dollars of exports. And we see opportunities here in terms of increasing attention to quality and healthy food consumption, and the popularity of Italian cuisine, also thanks to the community, of course. Challenges include rising costs due to inflation, competition from local manufacturers, also due to the strong agricultural base of Canada, and wide Italian-sounding range of products available on the market. In terms of wine, Italy is the second largest supplier of wine to Canada, with a very important trade results and outcomes. And we see opportunities here in terms of rising wine consumption, multi-ethnic and multicultural consumers who favor diversity, which is also a very important trait of the Italian offerings. A very wide range of different wines for all palates and tastes. In terms of challenges, we see interprovincial market barriers due to the fragmented regulatory environment and rising marketing costs, and also geographic extension versus the population concentration in two main provinces. In other words, it requires an investment to be present in the Canadian wine market. As far as industrial machinery and equipment are concerned, Italy is the 8th largest supplier. And it's also interesting to notice that out of 250 Italian subsidiaries in Canada, 40% are providers of these goods. Opportunities for us, from our point of view, include incentives to Canadian manufacturers for the adoption of new technology, including artificial reality and augmented reality, artificial intelligence, big data, and Internet of Things, among others. And challenges include labor shortages, training, increased resources and energy costs, supply chain risks, and cyber security. Let me say that we want to help, and we want to highlight our services, which are not only geared towards the needs of Italian companies, but also to those of the Canadian companies. So we can help Canadian companies to source in Italy and to find business avenues. We take delegations of buyers and media operators to Italy constantly. I mean, we're not only geared to Italian companies, although they are our most important client. And we are located in Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. We have 3 offices since more than 70 years, with a number of employees who are ready to be of service to you all. So please don't forget to call us, to visit us, to look at our websites, which include also thematic websites on machinery, on procurement, and on foreign direct investment. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saladini. Thank you, grazie Marco, for your speech, for your introduction on the main sector of interest for Italian and Canadian companies and for the overview of the Italian trade agency activity. So thank you, Marco. Let's stay in Canada with the next speakers. Today we have the pleasure to have with us the representatives of the 3 Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada, connected from different Canadian cities. So I would like to start with Mr. Carmine D'Argenio, President of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada, based in Montreal. So President D'Argenio, I know that the Chamber has an important role in supporting the relationship with between Italian Canadian companies. Would you like? We would like also to know your point of view. So
absolutely.
Please.
Grazie, President. Grazie. Well, good morning and good afternoon to everyone that's joining us here in Canada and also in Italy. And I also want to thank the Cassa Depositi e Prestiti for organizing this meeting today. The Italian Chamber of Commerce of Canada is a strong partner for Italian and Canadian companies looking to expand internationally, and we have been doing this now for 60 years. We cover Canada, but more specifically, we have the provinces of Quebec and the Maritimes, which includes Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, and Prince Edward Island. Our chamber is active in all sectors, from traditional to innovative, such as AI, green tech, life sciences, and more. I'm going to circle back to these sectors and the opportunities in just a few minutes. We count on and we collaborate closely with an extensive network of contacts, stakeholders, and key players in the international and economic development fields in Italy and here in Quebec. Our chamber has continuously adapted its support and consulting services to meet the changing needs of our customers, offering personalized services for every step of the internationalization process, from scouting investment opportunities, technology transfer, collaborations, or other forms. We've also been proactive in creating unique and innovative platforms in sectors where there is a particular synergy. One of these is the Canada-Italy Forum on Artificial Intelligence, a sector which is quite strong both in Quebec and in Italy. For the past 5 years, this international event has brought together world-renowned experts, leaders from the private and public sectors, innovative startups, and researchers to address key topics such as space economy, cybersecurity, sustainability, e-health, mobility, and more. The forum attracts the support of both the Canadian and Italian governmental institutions, as well as key collaborators from both countries' industrial ecosystem. Historically, Quebec and Italy share strong commonalities and boast solid economic and cultural ties. There is a great appreciation for made in Italy products, design, and technologies. If it's possible to please put up my slide number 1. Thank you. I'll take a few minutes to briefly present some of the key strategic sectors where there is opportunity for Quebec and Italy. AI, big data, cybersecurity, they have become critical topics and key economic drivers worldwide. And Montreal is one of the epicenters of innovation in these sectors. In fact, the city of Montreal boasts an exceptionally high concentration of expertise in AI and cybersecurity, thanks in part to the efforts of Yoshua Bengio, one of the founding fathers of the deep learning movement and head of the Montreal Institute for Learning Algorithms, known as MILA. Montreal is also home to a federal cluster. It's called Scale AI. It's the hub of Canada's AI ecosystem, as well as global players such as Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and Samsung, just to name a few. Through the Canada-Italy Forum, we've been able to attest just how much potential exists between Italy and Quebec in this sector. Life sciences and health technologies are another major industry in Quebec, with shipments that are worth approximately $5.7 billion annually. In fact, the metropolitan area of Montreal is one of the leading hubs in life sciences on the North American East Coast. The industry includes nearly 715 companies, mainly biotech companies, general manufacturing, and contract pharmaceutical companies, research and development services, and medical equipment manufacturers. When the government presented its 2022-2025 life sciences strategy, its intention was to create support for the sector so that it can prepare for other health challenges and strengthen its position in the global environment, which has become highly competitive since the COVID-19 pandemic. We can't forget sustainability. The Quebec government is very serious in its intent to go green. The fight against climate change is a fundamental issue, as well as an opportunity for new technologies and sectors to rise up. With this in mind, the government is giving priority to electrification in all possible sectors, supporting energy efficiency and also changing the way things are done. For example, in the context of the fight against climate change, cutting-edge technologies are being used to build a greener and more resilient agriculture by introducing vertical farms, smart farming, agricultural biotechnology, automation, all innovations to help reduce the sector's carbon footprint. In this case, Quebec is looking at its own research and development network to develop new technologies, but also to actively looking for innovative solutions and technologies developed internationally. Can I ask for the second slide, please? Grazie. Montreal is recognized globally as one of the world's most important aerospace centers. Bombardier, Airbus, Bell Helicopter, CAE, Pratt & Whitney, along with more than 230 other specialized companies, make up a vibrant and dynamic cluster. It is also an industry that has developed close relationships with key actors from Italy, such as Leonardo, Thales Alenia Space, and clusters from various regions such as Lazio, Campania, Piemonte. Relationships that were created by our chamber most recently during the Canada-Italy Forum on AI and Space Economy, which took place a few weeks ago. Another sector that Quebec and Italy share in common is the automotive industry. To put into perspective, Quebec's automotive industry is concentrated on special and recreational vehicles, such as ambulances, buses, trucks, and all-terrain vehicles. Quebec also boasts in the electric and smart transportation industry, which spans the entire value chain, electric and smart vehicle manufacturers, vehicle design and assembly firms, driving software developers, critical minerals, and more. It is an industry that represents $3.3 billion in turnover and counts more than 177 specialized local companies. Given the strength of its research capability, cutting-edge expertise in AI, and abundance of natural resources, including the most affordable hydroelectricity in North America, Quebec is ideally positioned to propel the electric and intelligent transportation sector forward. Let me just finish by saying a few more words on green tech and the automotive industry. And I'd like to go to my last slide, please. Thank you. The Quebec government published its 2030 Plan for a Green Economy with big goals to reach by the end of the decade. One of the major pillars of this plan with significant funding is the electrification of transportation, not only to continue Quebec's march towards expanding the province's electrical vehicle fleet, but also to reduce the role of individual cars in favor of more sustainable modes of transportation. And how is Quebec intending to reach these goals? One way is through electric batteries. Quebec's ambition is to become a global leader for electric vehicle battery production and development, producing the greenest and most sustainable batteries in the world. The government has already earmarked billions of public dollars for production, including investing in several significant projects in order to attract major international players such as Volkswagen, BMW, Volvo, and most recently offering billions of dollars in subsidies to Northvolt to build one of the largest battery plants in North America in the area of Bécancour. In fact, this area located just east of Montreal has become La Vallée de la Transition Énergétique, an innovation zone dedicated to batteries, transport electrification, hydrogen, and decarbonization. The innovation zone encourages innovations and partnerships between all players to strengthen existing expertise and push boundaries of knowledge. There's so much more, but I will stop here. But I will just remind you that the Chamber can be your partner in expansion strategy. We are here to support and accompany you in your initiatives to ensure your company's success on international markets. Thank you, grazie for your attention.
Thank you very much, President D'Argenio, for your very interesting speech that remember us all the main sectors of interest. Thank you very much. And indeed, we believe that the role of your Chamber of Commerce, as well as the role of all Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada, will be fundamental for the success of our initiative in favor of the Italian-Canadian Com. So I really look forward to work with all of you in the next weeks. And now we jump from the east to the west coast. And what do you think, Ilaria Baldan, Executive Director of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada West, based in Vancouver? What is your role in connecting Western Canadians with Italian brands and companies? Ilaria, I leave you the floor.
Grazie mille Riccardo, grazie per averci invitato a questo evento oggi. Thank you for inviting us. My name is Ilaria Baldan. I'm the Executive Director of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada West. And I'm located in Vancouver, and our chamber is covering the areas of Western Canada and mainly the Western provinces of BC, where I'm located, and Alberta. So we are the most far away, I guess, from Italy, and it's still early morning here for us. So I want to welcome all the participants, the speakers, and anybody attending from Italy and from Canada. So about our chamber, what we do is that we've been connecting business between Italy and Canada to Italy for the past 30 years. We're founded in 1992, and our mission is facilitating connection and international promotion between the two countries, and facilitating the access to the Canadian market for small and medium-sized businesses mostly, and our focus, of course, is the Western provinces. So the far west, if you want, in the how it is in the scenario of many Italian companies that haven't approached the market here. So we are really a broker of contacts, if you want, and I'm sure that I'm looking forward to start the use of the platform of CDP, and see it complement with our actions and our mission in Western Canada. So what we propose to both Canadian and Italian companies, and to both Italian companies that are represented already in Western Canada and Italian companies that are looking to access the market in Western Canada, is basically marketing and promotional services and B2B services, favoring the connections of and finding new connection for the establishment of a business or the promotion of a business that's already here. We provide also digital marketing services. We have various platforms. We are on all social media networks. And of course, we organize in-person events, but also we organize delegations, trade missions, and participations of Canadian buyers to trade shows in Italy. We provide to our members services that can introduce them to local stakeholders, both institutionals and private sponsors, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how we are a chamber of commerce with membership base. So our goal is to connect members and to provide business connections for them. We currently have more than 200 members, both in Canada and in Italy. And if I can switch to the next slide, I wanted just to present you here today a few of the sectors where we're focusing on. Of course, we are here to consult Italian companies and Canadian companies for any sectors, and where we don't have an expertise, we will, collaborate with stakeholders that are more expert on this. I would say our main focuses right now are, as Marco was anticipating, food and wine, for the reason that he was mentioning in his presentation, as the market is very strong for Italian exporters to Canada in these traditional sectors of food and wine exports. And especially this is the case for Western Canada, where many of the authentic Italian products and all the quality food and wine products have not arrived yet, because we're so far away, if you want, and it's a market that is not usually the first thought of Italian companies. But if you want, it is a market that presents many opportunities just for this very reason, that it hasn't been accessed for many, and it still offers a lot of space. Another sectors that we cover is that of interior design, luxury, and what is called alta gamma, if you want. For all of these sectors, we have signature events and programs. For interior design, interior design and fashion, we host every year the Italian Design Weeks. And for the food and wine, we have two moments during the year where we focus on the promotion of food and wine, such in June and November. And then another thing that I want to mention is that we're starting now working on the green building sector. And that's the case because there is a huge opportunities for Italian exporters in this sectors that's been estimated to $3.3 billion just in the Vancouver Lower Mainland. And this is the case because of the new legislation basically that asks to developers to have more greener, if you want, building to be built. So we will be hosting a forum in February, and with the next slide on this, I want to present my contact information. So you find us everywhere. It's very hard not to find us. We're on all social media. You can reach to us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and this is my email here. It's easier to connect with us virtually because we are 9 hours away from Italy in time zones and 10,000 kilometers, and that is why we're here to support Italian companies in their trip to Western Canada. Thank you.
Thank you to you, Ilaria Baldan, for sharing with us the role of your chamber in the West Canada. So also highlighting the main events. We saw the main programs that you support for enhancing business relations between Italian and Canadian companies. So thank you again, Ilaria. And now I'm pleased to leave the floor to Tiziana Tedesco, Deputy Director of the Italian Chamber of Commerce of Ontario, ICCO. So Tiziana is based in Toronto. Please, Tiziana, let us know how can ICCO support Italian companies in their activities and relationship with the Canadian business community. Tiziana, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Buon pomeriggio a tutti. Our chamber has been operating in Ontario since 1961. Today, from its offices in Toronto, ICCO Canada continues to enhance and promote investments, trade, business, and cultural relations between Canada and Italy. Eco-Canada is located in one of the most advanced provinces in the entire country. Ontario is home to a population of over 13.5 million people of the most diverse nationalities. Canada is home to more than 1.5 million people of Italian descent, mostly concentrated in Ontario. Ontario's economy thrives thanks to its resources that fuel the agricultural and mining sectors, and the presence of companies in sectors such as automotive, finance, software, construction, clean tech, life sciences, food and beverage processing, digital innovation, and cybersecurity. Ontario generates 37% of the nation's GDP and is home to nearly 50% of all employees in high-tech, financial services, and other knowledge-intensive industries. Toronto and the Greater Toronto Area contribute to 20% of the GDP of the whole of Canada and have an average growth of 2.9% per year. Toronto is the financial capital of Canada. It is home to the Toronto Stock Exchange, the country's 5 largest banks, and most of the foreign financial institutions headquartered in Canada. And in addition to the banking and finance sector, Toronto is home to equally robust sectors such as construction, technology, life science, and IT. Eco-Canada is very active and counts numerous business members in the Greater Toronto Area, which includes 25 municipalities surrounding Toronto. The City of Vaughan is one of the largest business centers in the GTA. Our offices have been working with the City of Vaughan for a long time to create business opportunities for Canadian and Italian entrepreneurs. And this year, we have activated a collaboration to encourage and facilitate business development, leading to foreign direct investments, particularly in the food and beverage processing and manufacturing sectors, but on a wider scale in other relevant sectors such as automotive, clean tech, life sciences, and digital culture. We're also concentrating our efforts to identify direct investment opportunities both in Italy and in Canada. And for the first time this year, thanks to an agreement with the Chamber of Commerce of Rome and the Agenzia Sviluppo Territorio, Eco-Canada has been active in the cinema sector and in the short movie industry, working with local and Italian partners as Toronto's role in cinema continues to grow to a point that it is now known as the Hollywood North. Our services within the Rome Toronto desk also include aerospace, medical and pharmaceutical, food and beverage, and customized assistance in various areas. Eco-Canada goals for the future is to evolve and transform to keep up with the business community needs. Our vision is to create a destination center in Toronto for the Italian and Canadian business community where goods and services can be showcased and experienced in a collaborative atmosphere. Our Camera Center will be a meeting point that houses the Italian style, which offers opportunities to engage in the lifestyle and economy of the two nations, from aerospace to fashion and design, from technology to science. Camera will facilitate the growth of companies within a vibrant business community and provide customized services for companies that wish to enter international markets and create business and cultural alliances. Camera, our new eco-center, will feature digital walls, window display areas, a theater for cultural and business presentations, an event space, a meeting and networking area, and a kitchen to allow tasting and products presentation. Camera will welcome business directly in the office spaces that we're going to have or virtually through digital technology. In Toronto and the GTA, there is everything from food to culture to innovation. Toronto is the city of the future. It is the economic and cultural capital of the English-speaking Canada, a glowing reality in constant movement. The Camera Center wants to bring together all of these aspects and connect them to today's elite and the opportunities it offers. So as business opportunity between Italy and Canada continue to grow, We encourage you to contact us and come to visit us to discover what we can do for you in Cameroon. Thank you all very much, and looking forward to speaking with you all. Grazie mille.
Thank you very much, Tiziana Tedesco, for your words. Let me thank all for the really interesting insight from Italian Trade Agency and from the 3 Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada. So now let's listen directly from the representative of an important Italian company based in Canada, such as Mapei. What are the main challenges and the main opportunities that can be seized in Canada? So I'm really pleased to leave the floor to Marco Roma, General Manager of in Canada of Mapei. Marco, the floor is yours.
Good morning, good evening to everyone connected. Grazie, Dr. Onorati Bianchi, and grazie to all other organizers for inviting me and Mapei to the launch of this new platform, which I'm sure will help developing further the already good business and economic relationship between Italy and Canada, as most speakers before me already stressed. Mapei is probably not as well known as other big Italian companies like Stellantis, represented here, or Barilla that was mentioned earlier. But for those of you who don't know what Mapei does, well, besides owning the Sassuolo Calcio, we are among the world leaders in chemicals and mortars for the construction industry. The company was founded in Italy in 1937. And since then, the growth led by the forward thinking and willingness to invest of the Squinzi family has been phenomenal. Mapei picked Canada as the first country to start this process of internationalization some 45 years ago, because we truly believed and still believe this is a land of opportunities for several good reasons. The country is vast, is rich in resources, with solid and sound political and financial institutions, and finally also is close to the US, with the pros and cons that come with this. Canada is also still relatively underpopulated, and with the population very much concentrated in a few areas, this makes for an easier first step for companies that wants to invest here. Think about the fact that the top 3 metropolitan areas in Italy, Milano, Roma, and Napoli, account for about 20% of the total Italian population. While in Canada, the GTA, GMA, and GVA, that is basically Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, represent more than 30%. So it makes for an easier access to a vaster part of the population right after the gate. And then in terms of GDP per capita, Canada is about 12% higher than Italy in dollar terms. So there's added value in coming to Canada. Mapei decided to start in Montreal because first, 45 years ago, logistics was not as easy, communication was not as easy as today. So we started on the East Coast to stay closer to Europe, only 6 hours time difference. And also because of the success we had with our products during the preparation and the building of the venues for the 1976 Olympic Games in Montreal. And Montreal gives also a relatively easy access to Quebec City and Ottawa too. So there was this area where there's a big Italian community, mostly involved with the constructions, which helped a lot to set the first footprint there. But then, step by step, we expanded, invested in production facilities and distribution centers, also in Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver, different reason. As I said, Toronto, another big community, Italian community there, very close to the US market. Calgary, close to Edmonton, at the heart of the oil and gas industries. Vancouver, it's a door to the Asian market, and it's an easy way also to receive raw materials from the Asian market. And we quickly understood also that distances are a huge in Canada, and proximity to the customers makes the development of loyal relationship easier. Plus, it decreases the impact of transportation, both in terms of cost and CO2 footprint, which for sure is now a strong priority for all of us. After these first 45 years, MAPEI still sees plenty of opportunity in Canada, so much so that we just invested another 30 million in a new state-of-the-art production facility in Quebec. So there's plenty of room for further development. On the flip side, I would say, you ask me what the challenges are. Going back to the fact that the country has been relatively underpopulated, but with the economy posting solid growth in recent years, all sectors had some hard time filling vacant positions because lack of people, lack of manpower. I know the government is well aware. It's taking action, and hopefully will facilitate the filling of those positions going forward, perhaps with facilitating skilled workers immigration going forward. What can I say more? On a more personal level, after spending the first part of my life and professional career between Italy and then having the chance to live and work in China, France, England, doing business with most Asian countries, European countries, then I moved to Canada. And I can tell you that once you get over the fact that winter here is really cold, Canada is, at least for me, a great and easy place to live and work. And I think that with this, my 5 minutes are up. I don't know if there will be any question. I will be happy to take it at the end, or you can reach out to me separately. So for now, I guess this answers your question, Ricardo, and thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much to you, Marco, for first of all, for accepting the invitation to be here today with us and to share your experience in Canada. It was really interesting, your speech. MAPEI is a very important company, but you are an example of success for all the Italian small and medium enterprises that want to increase, to expand their business and have a new relationship with the Canadian market. So your words in all the spectrum of topics you mentioned are really was really interesting for us. Thank you. And now I would like to go deeply in the SMEs topic, in particular, to understand how CMEST within the CDP group can help, can financially help the Italian companies that want to go to Canada. For this sector, and I'm very pleased to leave the floor to my friend Francesca Licata, Head of External Relations at CMEST. So, Francesca, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Riccardo, to give me the floor. My name is Francesca Licata, and I am the Head of External Relations at CMEST. CMEST is part of Cassa Depositi e Prestiti. Our mission is support the internationalization of Italian SMEs. And for the Italian SMEs, we are not just a financial partners, but also a financial partner, but also a governmental partner, because we manage public funds on behalf of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We collaborate with the Confindustria, with the Italian Trade Agency, and we are also member of EDFI, the European Development Financial Institution. We offer 3 lines of products: soft loans, equity, and export credit with supply credits. First of all, we have soft loans to create, for example, e-commerce platform to sell Italian goods, or loans to attend international fairs or international exhibition in Canada too, or loans to enter in foreign markets, for example, in Canada, or loans for consultancy, or loans for a temporary manager or loans for a digital and ecological transition. The common characteristic of those six loans are that we offer loans with an interest rate that is 10% of EU benchmark rate. So if today the interest rate is 4.70, we offer loans with an interest rate of 0.147. Our loans will not impact in the central risk, and we offer also a contribution of 10% of the total amount of the loans. The second line of product that we offer is equity investment. We are like a private equity, and we do a joint venture with an Italian company that need to have the majority share in the foreign company. We are just a minority partner, and the Italian company will have the possibility to use also the venture capital fund that have a favorable terms. The way out for this this kind of joint venture is 8 years, and we offer a very low interest rate too. The last product, but not the least, is export credit with supply credit. CMEST provides a fixed, non-repayable interest rate subsidy to cover partially or totally the discount rate required by the discounting entity for the monetarization promissory notes, bonds, or letter of credit issued by the foreign buyer of Italian goods and service. Just to give you some number, we have in the last 2 years we have supported more of 70 Italian company with our soft loans for a total amount of 20 million euro. And about equity, we have in our portfolio two projects of equity for a total amount of 5 million euro. So we know that we have a lot of work to do, but together we can do the difference, and I remain at your disposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Francesca, for having presented very briefly the financial tool of CMEST to support SMEs abroad. You mentioned from loans to equity investment, quasi-equity, soft loans. So broader tool of financial instrument that all Italian companies, in particular SMEs, can access thanks to CMEST. Obviously, the companies that are interested in access to this kind of financial instrument can directly contact us also within the platform, and you will have a fast track access to our colleagues in CMEST as well as in CDP for all the other financial instruments. And now to speak about the importance of the internationalization of the Italian small and medium enterprises, in particular the SMEs, I'm very happy to leave the floor to my friend Antonio Franceschini, Head of Promotion Office International Markets of CNA. Antonio, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Riccardo. And I would like to thank CDP to involve CNA in the business meeting platform for involving us in this seminar. CNA represent the acronym of the Confederation of Small and Medium Enterprises and Craft Sector. We have more than 600,000 members, and today we want to explain something about our activity. CNA is in relationship with the Italian institution, works to support the Italian company, has said the crafts sector and the small and medium enterprises in policies, and concerning my role overall in the international market. At CNA, we are particularly committed to Canada. We are paying attention to both the trading policy and the promotion action. On the first front, the trading policies, just a few hours ago, we spoke at the Foreign and European Affairs Commission of the Chamber in the Italian Parliament to present our position on CETA, taking part in a hearing. At the same time, to work on this agreement, we take part in the DAG, in a domestic advisory group between representative of European Union and Canadian representative in the business, employed and civil society to consider to study the development of this important agreement as before someone else. On the second front, with we have a lot of activity and some specific project dedicated to Canada. With our sectorial union, CNA Federmoda, dedicated to the fashion sector, we have already undertaken 2 missions in collaboration with the Italian Trade Agency under a project under the title We Love Mode in Italy. We were in Toronto in January 2020 and in August 2022, bringing fashion companies and different brands to Toronto. On their part, the Italian Trade Agencies has invited Canadian operators for possible business. Now we are working to repeat the experience on February 2024, and so if between the participants of this seminar there are entrepreneurs in a fashion sector, as fashions means garments, accessories, shoes, bags, and so on, can contact us for more information anytime to participate in this event that will be held on the 13th and the 14th of February in Toronto. Other activity were organized by our territorial or sectorial branch on food and other sector. I hope that today's seminar could bring new ideas and the possibility to be developed. I know that the time is at the end for us, and so I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Antonio, for your speech. And now I would like to conclude the roundtable, and I would like to thank you all for your participation at the roundtable and for the interesting and useful insight you have provided. So now we really hope to collaborate in the coming weeks and to organize together new initiative in Canada altogether. And now, after the conclusion of the roundtable, I would like to go deeply in one of the main sector. We listened, for example, from President D'Argenio, the green tech and the automotive sector as one of the most important in Canada and of interesting also for the Italian business community. So we will discuss about this topic with Flavio Volpe, President at Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association, and with Teresa Piruzza, Director of External Relations and External Affairs of Stellantis in Canada. Let's start with the President Volpe. Innovation and sustainability, this is two important words. How do these two concepts fit together, and what do they mean for your association? Please, President Volpe, the floor is yours.
Grazie. Prima di ogni cosa voglio dire buongiorno, buonasera a tutti e grazie all'ambasciata, grazie ai nostri amici italiani per farci conoscere così insieme. Sì, virtuale, ma forse in estate potete venire qui in Canada o ci vediamo in Italia. Italy and Canada share a great space and a posture and an ideology in sustainable automotive mobility technologies. We are a similar sized automotive groups, one of the world's 10 greatest in advanced supplier technologies, in tooling, and in the applied technologies that are going to fuel the future, which is connected, autonomous, zero emissions. We spend a lot of time in Italy, both for the companies I represent, for Vittori, for companies from everywhere from Fiat to Ferrari and everything in between. And we try to learn about advanced lightweighting technologies and applied drive technologies, and we collaborate. And some of you may know our project, Project Aero, a complete all-Canadian prototype where we're showing the world what we can do in every space. The secret on Project Aero, il tellaio italiano. We worked with a company called Breton in Castel de Gadego, introduced by Lamborghini to show us how to do lightweight, usable, short time frame 3D manufacturing of a chassis, so we can demonstrate Canada around the world with the help of Italy. The car is in Dubai today for COP28, and this Italian-Canadian partnership is helping us tell the world that we can all do this well together.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today and to provide your perspectives about the future of the automotive sector. So thank you. And now, Director Piruzza, the floor is yours. I would like to ask you, why should the automotive sector increasingly focus on sustainability?
Buongiorno.
Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Congratulations on the launch of this business-to-business partnership platform. I'm pleased to be part of this event and to share some comments. I've really enjoyed today hearing the updates about the Italy-Canada relationship, and thank you for the question with respect to sustainability. Sustainability is certainly an integral part of the current transition in the industry, as we've heard from previous speakers this morning. To answer, I think I'm going to focus on an overview of Stellantis and what we call our Dare Forward 2030 strategy, which demonstrates Stellantis's commitment to sustainability and the importance we place on the topic. For those not aware of who Stellantis is, Stellantis was formed in 2021 through a merger of the PSA Group and Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. The merger brought together 14 brands from across the globe and is a community of employees that spans 170 nationalities across 6 regions. Stellantis is one of the world's leading automakers and a mobility provider. In North America, it's best known for producing and selling vehicles in a portfolio of award-winning brands such as Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Alfa Romeo, and Fiat. In Canada, Stellantis is headquartered in Windsor, Ontario, and operates assembly plants in Windsor and Brampton, an automotive research and development center in Windsor, a casting plant in Etobicoke, and employs over 8,000 across our various facilities. In an automotive industry where disruption and opportunities are unlike any other time, Stellantis is making deep transformations to its industrial footprint to achieve the ambitions of the Dare Forward 2030 strategic plan. This includes reducing CO2 emissions, improving quality, and identifying cost efficiencies. The plan is anchored in an ambitious decarbonization strategy consistent with science-based recommendations. Through aggressive and clear targets, the strategy sets out deep emission cuts to slash CO2 in half by 2030, putting us on track to achieve carbon net zero by 2038. Stellantis is transforming engineering and manufacturing facilities around the world as part of the strategic plan. As Stellantis prepares to introduce more than 25 EVs in Canada and the US by the end of the decade, the company's operations in Canada will continue to play a critical role. For nearly a century, Stellantis has maintained a strong manufacturing footprint in Canada. Since 2010, Stellantis has invested $12.6 billion in Canada, demonstrating the company's commitment to a sustainable future in the very demanding context that the electrification transformation is creating and Canada's role in the global EV ecosystem. These investments include the transformation of both the Windsor and Brampton assembly plants to install new architectures to produce electrified vehicles, a new center of competency and battery pack testing lab at the Research Center, which will serve as the hub for all Stellantis EV battery testing in North America, and the joint venture with LG, Nexstar Energy, for the first EV battery plant in Canada. Production operations at Nexstar Energy are planned to launch in 2024 and aims to have an annual production capacity in excess of 45 gigawatt hours. The Windsor assembly plant will continue to produce the Pacifica, including the plug-in hybrid electric, all-wheel drive, and ICE models, as well as introduce the next generation of Dodge muscle cars. At Brampton, the facility will be completely transformed to produce both ICE and electrified vehicles and produce the next generation Jeep Compass. In addition to investments in new electrified vehicles, Stellantis' ambition is to embrace breakthrough ideas to offer innovative, clean, safe, and affordable mobility. Stellantis will be the industry champion in climate change mitigation, becoming carbon net zero by 2038, with a 50% reduction by 2030. Taking a leadership role in decarbonization, as well as a decisive step forward in the circular economy, is our contribution to a sustainable future. So, to your question, you can see from the quick overview of Stellantis investments in Canada and guided by our strategy that Stellantis is committed to the role that the sector must play in sustainability efforts and really recognizes the role that the industry must play moving forward. Thank you again for your time, and I've really appreciated being engaged today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Indeed, sustainability is one of the most important challenges facing today, both for the public and private sector. And in these regards, I think it will be crucial for the companies to focus on training and digitalization of skills in the next year. So in any case, thank you very much again to President Volpe and Director Piruzza. Thank you. Goodbye. Before ending this rich event, I'm honored now to leave the floor to the intervention and institutional greetings. Indeed, the first from the Minister of Economic Development of Southern Ontario, Filomena Tassi. Please.
Hi, I'm Filomena Tassi, Minister responsible for the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario and Member of Parliament for Hamilton West Ancaster Dundas. Thank you so much for the opportunity to join you all virtually today as you discuss all the ways we are bringing Canada and Italy closer. The contributions of the Italian-Canadian community to Canada are remarkable. You know the hard work, wit, and investments our grandparents and parents has set the scene for future generations. I wouldn't have become a corporate lawyer, a chaplain, or a minister of the Crown if it weren't for the example my parents set for me. And now, through the work that you are doing today and every day, we are going to set our children and grandchildren up for success, much like our parents and grandparents did for us. When we bring our two countries together, we all benefit. Canada and Italy have so much to offer each other and the world, and I know that if we work together, we can make the world a better place. Events like this one here today are so important because they are an opportunity to bring the business and political sides together so we can find a path forward that works for all. Through big ideas like CDP business matching, which harnesses the technology at our fingertips to connect Canadian and Italian companies, we are creating an environment where they can scale up, grow, and thrive. This is going to help set both our countries, economies, and most importantly, people up for success. Our government knows that our biggest strength is people, because we know that when we invest in people, they reach their potential and turn possibilities into realities. Thank you so much for inviting me today and for offering me the opportunity to deliver these remarks virtually.
I would like to thank very much Minister Tassi and her staff for supporting us in promoting our initiative. And now I'm really pleased to leave the floor to Senator Tony Loffreda for the concluding institutional remarks. Please, Senator, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm honored and privileged to be here, and congratulations on this wonderful initiative. I think there's so much more Canada and Italy could do together. I'm here live this morning, so I'm open for some questions or some commentary afterwards, if you please. And I think this was very important, and we've been looking forward to this for a very long time. What I'll do in a brief 5 minutes is I'll try to outline why Canada and Italy should do much more together. I have a survey, an interesting survey by Global Affairs Canada, which I'll share very briefly and quickly. And I'll give an overview of what we are doing currently, because it's very important to know where we're coming from, to know where we're going. And you've all heard that many, many times. But in 2022, Canada and Italy bilateral goods trade totaled $15 billion, or 10.9 billion euros. È tanto, allora facciamo già molto insieme, an increase of nearly 52% over pre-CETA trade, which is very interesting and impressive. In 2022, Canada imported approximately $12.1 billion, or 8.9 billion euros in goods from Italy, an increase of nearly 61% over pre-CETA imports. In 2022, Canada exported approximately $2.8 billion, or 2 billion euros of goods to Italy, an increase of nearly 22% over pre-CETA exports. So as you see, our trade increased 52%, our imports increased 61%, and our exports increased 22%. If we take a look at what is Italy very strong in and where we have our imports from, is food, fashion, machinery, and equipment. And I'll go through other categories that we import from Italy. If we look at the US market, it's always technology. Their largest companies are in the technology industry. In Canada, it's aerospace, agriculture, food and beverages, automotive, clean tech, information and communications technologies, and life sciences. So now that I've gone through the numbers, if I look at where we have trade balance deficits in every category with Italy, and I went through some of those numbers. So we have trade balance deficits in every category. In agriculture and food, it's almost a $1 billion deficit. That means we import over $1 billion more than we export. Where is the largest deficit? The largest opportunities for Canadian, for Italian exporters is in the machinery and equipment. Italy is very strong. Many people don't know that. They always look at food and fashion, but machinery and equipment and technology, Italy is very strong in machinery and equipment. And we have a deficit of over $3 billion in that sector. And other manufactured goods is our second largest deficit, which is close to $2 billion. So if you take a look at machinery and equipment and manufactured goods, our trade deficit with Italy is close to $5 billion. That means we import $5 billion more than we export in those categories. And that's where the large opportunities are for the Italian companies and entrepreneurs. I'd like to, in the 2 minutes I have left, Global Affairs Canada did a survey. And in the survey, there's such a positive perception of Canada. If we take a look at overall perception of countries in the world, Canada, surprisingly, many Italians don't know that, is number one. When we looked at, when this survey of Global Affairs Canada took a survey amongst Italians, Canada scores 7.5 out of 10. The number 2 country is Germany, 7.4. Number 3 is Italy at 7.3. Number 4, the United States at 7.3. And United Kingdom is 5th at 7.1, tied with Australia. So Canada is number 1. We're perceived tops from Italy and from the Italians. So this is one of the reasons you, the Italian entrepreneurs and companies, should do much more here in Canada. And you believe in Canada. We believe in Canada. We believe that Canada should have much more Italy, but Italy should have also a lot more in the Canadian market. And we are here to help you, to support you, to guide you. And this is why I'm live, open for questions and commentary if necessary. Perceived reliability of different countries as economic partners, once again, Canada is number 1. And we look at that perception. I won't share all the numbers because I only have a few minutes left. Perception of free trade agreements, CETA, we've got to teach the Italians about CETA. Increase CETA, get it accepted, get it ratified, very important moving forward. But trust of various groups and organizations, I'll end with this. Agricultural products, 93% from Canada. Farmers Association, 90%. The Canadian government trusted, 82% by Italians. So thank you for that. Higher than the European Union, which is at 81%, and environmental groups, which are at 80%. So the trust in our market, our entrepreneurs, our government is very high amongst Italians. So thank you for that. I say thank you. I say we're here to help, we're here to guide, and I'm open to questions or commentary if necessary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Senator Loffreda, for your participation, for your comments and insights. We sincerely hope that today's initiative could contribute with concrete action to further develop the Italy-Canada business relations. So thank you for your participation, and we will organize further initiative in this direction.
My honor and privilege. Thank you very much.
As we have come to the end of this event, I would like to remind everyone that on the CDP business matching platform, you can get in touch with us to receive technical or business assistance, and of course, in order to plan and to organize and to attend the B2B meetings. All companies already registered can organize these B2B meetings by accepting the proposed matches they will find on their dashboard. In addition, I invite you to profile your company by indicating your goals and business intention, and then to return regularly to the platform and to check the match proposal and to organize B2B meetings. In conclusion, I would like to thank all the relevant stakeholders that are supporting our initiative, our distinguished speakers, all the companies, and all those who contributed to the success of this event. I leave you with a short video of the CDP business matching platform, and let me say thank you again and arrivederci.
There is a smart way to increase your business and meet new Italian partners. Discover CDP Business Matching, the network that connects your company with Italian firms selected according to your business needs. CDP Business Matching is free and smart. Register now on businessmatching.cdp.it, select your goals, and meet the most suitable Italian partners for your business.
I think is an incredible platform. I think they're going to be able to connect a lot of people together. I myself have connected already through them, and I wait to see how many more partnerships and more businesses that I can do together through the platform.
CDP Business Matching allowed us to enlarge our business and consent us every day to be more competitive in foreign market, very complex and far.
Shape your network. Join now CDP Business Matching on businessmatching.cdp.it and take part in the next digital event.